Katie, the novel stitcher, and this is Flosstube number 1. It is September 3rd, which feels weird to say because August went by so fast and I can't believe it's September already, but I love the fall and I'm excited for fall stitching and fall decorating and all the holidays to come. This is my very first Flosstube. Been watching Flosstube for a while now, been wanting to dive in, a little bit nervous about doing so, but decided on this Labor Day weekend to give it a go. So I hope if you like this video, you'll give it a thumbs up, you will subscribe. I'll try to post about every 2 weeks or so, share with you what I'm stitching and also share with you what I'm reading. So a little bit about me. My name is Katie, obviously. I live in southeastern Pennsylvania with my cat. Her name is Scout. She's about 12 years old. She is a tuxedo cat, so she's black and white, and she's the little love of my life. She's probably sleeping in the bedroom right now, but she's great company to have. I work in communications at a financial firm in the area, internal communications, which means I'm communicating to the employees there. It's a really good job and I really like my coworkers, so I'm very lucky. And I also love to read. So you can see my bookcases with all my books. I live in an apartment, so this is like the best background I could find for this video. But mostly I'll be talking about cross stitch, and then toward the end of every video I will be sharing what I'm currently reading and maybe some book recommendations from the books off these shelves. So if you're interested in bookish talk, please stay on till the end. You can also find me at Novel Stitcher on Instagram. I mostly have a lot of bookish content on there right now because it used to be a Bookstagram, which is Instagram for the bookish community. I'm kind of transitioning it to have bookish and stitching content, so stay tuned for that. Other things about me, I like trying new restaurants. I love Italian food and Asian food and all food, really. My boyfriend and I like going on hikes in the area and getting out in nature. If you're ever in southeastern Pennsylvania, check out Longwood Gardens. It's one of our favorite spots. It's beautiful there. It's a huge garden and they put on fountain shows in the evenings and they have an inside part and outside, and it's just beautiful. So a little bit about cross stitching. So I'm brand new to cross stitching. I'm about 7 months in. I've never really used a needle and thread in my life. My grandma, I think, sewed and crocheted, but never with me, and I never really saw her doing it much later in her life. And you know, other than that, never really had much experience with this craft, but I've always liked to craft. I've liked, when I was little, the most experience I have with floss is making friendship bracelets, but I loved to do that when I was little. I liked playing with beads and making necklaces and bracelets. I liked painting and stamps and drawing. Not great at painting and drawing, but do what you love even if you're not great at it. When I entered into my teenage years, I got into scrapbooking. I still scrapbook occasionally, not as much as I used to, but I really loved doing that for a long time. Got into knitting a little bit. And then during the pandemic, I thought, okay, we'll be home for a couple weeks. I'll just read a lot. And as things kind of got worse, I just couldn't read. I lost my reading bug. I just couldn't pay attention to the words on the page. Work was pretty stressful. At the time, I was working for a university for their medical school, so I was writing and reading about the pandemic and about COVID and all the effects of the illness a lot, and I really needed a good distraction. So I started binge watching bad TV, like Real Housewives of New Jersey, originally from New Jersey, so I got into that one. And I actually saw someone on Instagram do paint by number. So that kind of got me crafting again, and I did paint by number. It's Masterpiece by Number was the company, so really big, beautiful paintings that you do by number, and they give you the paints and the canvas and everything. But I got a little burnt out on that after a while. Experimented with polymer clay jewelry and made earrings and necklaces, but also like it didn't capture my attention long enough. And I was like, I really am back into crafting and I want to stick with it, but I want to find a craft that is capturing my attention, has enough variation to keep me interested in it, is something that's easy to do and doesn't like paints make a mess, or like the clay earrings need extra time to bake and finish them afterward. And so I saw someone else again on Instagram cross stitching, and I thought, okay, I'll check that out. So I picked up a couple cross stitch kits. I don't have the one I started with me. It was a bookmark with teacups. It was just a kit I got at Michael's and kind of lost interest in that one. I just didn't love the design, and I think I'm learning with this craft. You gotta love what you're doing because it takes some time. But I liked the thought of cross stitch and the activity, and so I joined some Facebook groups to learn more about it. And I found that there's a lot of patterns on Etsy. So I was searching around on Etsy and I found one from the Daily Cross Stitch, and this is the first piece that I ever did. So it's pretty cute. It's not perfect. I think I went in the wrong direction in some parts of it. I didn't know what I was doing. I watched some YouTube videos, but I was like, I'm gonna wing it, because I do that sometimes. But I love giraffes. You can see I've got some giraffe decorations that I put out for the summer. So I thought this was super cute. I just found this at Michael's. It's just 14 count Aida, and did it in a hoop and used DMC. Probably the called for from, I think it's Daily Cross Stitch on Etsy is this one. And it was a lot of fun. And so I kind of started searching around more to learn more about cross stitch. So I was joining some Facebook groups because I think they're a great way to see different posts and see what people are stitching. And I saw a lot of those full coverage pieces, and I was pretty intrigued that early on to be like, ooh, that's cool. Those are gigantic. How would you even begin to stitch something that large and that complicated? And so I asked in one of the groups, like, where would you even start if you wanted to do this? Spoiler alert, I have not done full coverage yet. But they led me to Teresa Little Stitcher. And she has a series, a Flosstube series on full coverage as a newbie to cross stitch. And it was really fascinating. She definitely makes it sound doable. I decided for me, maybe I wanted to dabble in some smaller pieces first. But upon discovering her channel, I watched her other videos and realized that Flosstube was a thing. And she was mentioning other Flosstubers. And I was like, okay, let me see who else does this. Let me learn more. And I discovered the Museum Stitcher, and I discovered Just Stitching with Pam and Steph, and I discovered Java Girl Stitches, and I am now subscribed to like 20 Flosstubes because I think it's such a cool community. I love how nice everyone seems, how much they support each other, and all the beautiful things people are stitching. And I think one thing about Flosstube that I like is I like seeing people stitch things that maybe I wouldn't stitch and seeing the progress, because it's just fun to see what different tastes people have and what people like. And so it's just been so much fun watching all of that. And so I'm really happy to be here. So probably my regularly scheduled program would be a bit of life updates. My life's not that interesting. I don't have that much to share, but we'll do some life updates if I've got some stuff going on that's interesting to tell you all about. Then I'll do any fully finished objects, any finished pieces. Then we'll go into starts and whips. We'll do haul. I might not always have haul. I'm trying to be careful with what I spend, because otherwise you want to buy everything. So I might do like a mix of haul and wish list, and I might show off like some patterns that I want or some fabrics that I want. And then we'll get into some bookish content at the very end. So let's start. I have some notes, so if I look down, I'm just checking. I'm going to show you my first not framed, fully finished object. I did do two patterns that I framed. One, they're both on Etsy. I can show pictures at a later date. One said trick or treat and had like spiders and like a boot and like different Halloween motifs that I gave to my best friend for her birthday, just in a simple black frame. And then another one was the islands of Hawaii with some flowers, and I gave that to my sister-in-law for her birthday. And it's fun stitching for other people and being able to give them something you kind of put some thought and love and care into. It was really fun to see the reactions when they got their gifts. But my first, for me, fully finished object, FFO, and this is kind of inspired by Java Girl Stitches, is this one. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. This is a Lizzie Kate. It's part of her Boxer series. Here's the pattern. It's Autumn B01. I got it on 1-2-3 stitch, so I just got everything that they had. I got the fabric. This is the first linen I've stitched on. Mostly it had been Aida, and this is linen. It's flax cashel linen. It was kind of hard to stitch on, honestly. It was like really soft, and being the first time like 28 count linen, I struggled a little. There was some frogging, ripping out of some of the stitches, but it was fun. And then, you know, based on kind of what Java Girl Stitches does, also like stitching with the housewives, they do kind of finishes like this. I've seen stuff like this on Fat Quarter Shop. Like a lot of people have inspired me in creating this, and this was a lot of fun to do. I struggled with the sticky board because the cutter I had did not cut this very straight. I need to get better tools. And I think like the fabric, I cut the fabric too close in the corners. I don't know, but nothing's ever absolutely perfect. And since this is the first time I've ever done something like this, I'm happy with it, how it came out. This is from Michael's. This little thing is from Michael's. And then the board, I actually got at Wegman's, which is a grocery store in PA. I think there's some in New Jersey, Virginia, not a super widespread grocery store, but yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. It makes me happy to see it sitting in my windowsill. And so that's my only fully finished object for today. And then I have a couple just regular finishes. So this one is Welcome Autumn. This is a Primrose Cottage one. This is so cute. I love the fall stitching. And so this one, Nicole Spohr, she is Spohr. I want to say she is also on Instagram and Flosstube. She does card making too, which is kind of cool, but she's recently got back into stitching, and she did a sow. So that was my first stitch along to do this one. I have to figure out how I want to finish it. I think I have a board that a white like board that I'm going to put it on, do some ribbons and stuff. This is 16 count. I want to say it's just a Zweigart that I got at Michael's. And I used the called for DMC for this one. So that's really cute. And then the next one is an autumn mini from Waxing Moon. So it came with 3 little turkey, the cat, and the crow. These are really cute. I got this at Sea Needles, which is a local needlework shop, LNS, in Bethany Beach, Delaware. I was on vacation there, and I was just like, let me see if there's any like needlework shops while I'm down here on vacation with my family. And I found Sea Needles, so I went and got this. And so I did the cat one, because I have a black cat. Well, she's black and white, but. And I did this on 18 count platinum Aida that I just actually got also at Sea Needles. So look how cute. It's really teeny. I wanted to do something teeny and Halloweeny. Gotta figure out how I want to finish this. Maybe on just like a little block or something like that, but I like that one. This is a platinum Aida, 18 count. And then I actually had from the autumn one, the Lizzie Kate one I just showed, the leftover for the fancy floss. Oh, I forgot to say that one was Weeks Dye Works. That was my first time using Weeks. And so I used the called for Weeks for most of it. And then for like the cat and a few other things, I just used the call for DMC if I didn't have the Weeks Dye Works for that. So that's cute. And then I'm gonna figure out how to put a picture here because my printer's being mean. Why are printers so horrible? I don't know why it's so hard, but it never prints properly. I'm gonna stop for a second. I need a glass of water. Okay, I'm back. I'm not used to talking this much. So, water's good. I'm gonna figure out how to put the picture up here because my printer wasn't working to print out the next couple or the next few, and I got them as PDFs, digital downloads. So next one I'm going to show you, let me make sure I have my notes so I say the right things, but this is Two Pumpkins Bright. It's a Hello from Liz Matthews pattern. Not much done. It's gonna be pretty small. I didn't iron anything, sorry. Hope that's okay. But I wanted to do something Halloweeny, so I just started that this week because it's September and I'm thinking about Halloween, which is one of the best holidays. Christmas is my favorite, but Halloween's pretty awesome. And so just a little pumpkin guy. He's coming along. He is done on an 18 count Aida, like a off-white Aida. I'm just using the call for DMC. This one's gonna be really cute with the little pumpkins. I'm excited for that. My mom loves Halloween. She goes all out and decorates the whole house, and it's awesome. She's very classy Halloween style, and it's beautiful. My parents are in South Carolina, and they're moving back up east in a couple months. So no Halloween decorating this year for her, which has her kind of sad. But I'm like, but you're moving to a nice house and you'll be closer. It'll be fine. But she loves to decorate. So she's still out there buying some Halloween stuff so she can put a few things around the house before they move. So the next one, again, it'll be hopefully right there. Fingers crossed. I'm smart. I can figure out this editing thing, right? Well, the rest of you can figure it out. I hope I can. So this one, hopefully she's not going to watch this. I don't think so. It's for my aunt. It's going to be for her birthday in November. And you probably saw it, but it's going to say, but first coffee. I got this on Etsy and I did not write down who this is from. Whoops. All right. I'm gonna do the text thing. I'm gonna figure that out too. I'm gonna figure all the things out. But this one's cute. It's coming along. This is a 16 count antique Aida. I think it's just Zweigart, just DMC. I messed up a lot on the flowers. My counting was just, I kept ripping and I kept getting mad. So this one I've been working on for a couple months. It should be much farther along and it had to go in timeout because it was making me cranky. But her birthday's not till November, so I have a little bit of time. I think also, I know she's gonna like this because she loves coffee. We both do. I am not a human in the morning without coffee. Don't talk to me unless I've had coffee. And she's slightly the same way. But I think it's hard to know other people's style, and I kind of know what she likes. Like, she likes Christmas decorations, snowmen and stuff like that, but I didn't want to do something for the holidays because then she'd only be able to put it out for like a month or so. I wanted something that she could keep out, you know, for a while or the whole year. And so I wasn't sure what to do. So I found this one and thought that would be cute. I'll like it when it's done. It's just a bit of a slog to get through the flowers, but it'll get done, and I know she'll love it because we just went to lunch today. We were talking about cross stitch, and so she was really interested in learning more about it. So that's that one. And then I can show you my bad printer because I did print this one. So this is another hello from Liz Matthews, and this is the 5th day of Christmas. I don't know if I'm going to do her whole series. She's doing all 12 days from the song. But I liked this one the best. I don't know if I'll do all of the others. So this is, my printer was being, you can see the lines. You can kind of see, it's not too bad. You can see the pattern. So there's a little tree, but I'm just gonna do this and frame it. And I thought that was super cute. So this is 28 count even weave. I don't know if there's a particular company. And this one's coming along. This is so cute. I really like this one. I don't know. I'm gonna do it like this. Don't worry. We're all awkward, right? I'm awkward, you're awkward. It's fine. Welcome to my head. So yeah, this is coming along. I really like this one. I think it's good because it's Christmassy, but if I wanted to leave it out after Christmas, it's not too Christmassy. It's got, you know, a nice winter touch. I like the colors that she used for the most part. I changed, the moon was like a much more, I think it's even a little lighter than it's looking on the camera here with the lighting. It's cloudy out today, but this was a little more of like an orangey yellow. So I just changed the color of this to be a softer yellow. I just picked a different DMC. This is DMC. And for the bird and the outline on the moon, it blended in with the white too much, though I think she used white too, so it looks pretty light on what she did and on mine. So what I did is I took the white thread and blended it with like a really, really pale blue. Sorry, I don't remember which color. If you want to know, you can ask me. But I used one thread of each because this is 2 over 1. No, over 2, which I haven't been saying what stitches I've been doing. So if you want to know that, I'll put it in the description. I'll put everything in the description. I'll put the fabrics, the patterns, the artists, and I'll put if I did 1 over 2 or 2 over 2 or that kind of thing. But anyway, so I use one thread of each of the pale blue and the white to kind of make that stand out a little bit more, and I think that looks pretty nice. So I like this. I think Christmas is my favorite. I was realizing today, going through a little bit of my stash. I don't have a ton because I've been doing this for like 7 months, so I don't have a ton of stuff. You can't spend too much money, but though you can if you're not careful. But most of my patterns are Christmas, and I haven't even, this is the first Christmas one that I've stitched. But I will be stitching lots of Christmas. I love Christmas. I think it's magical and fun. And then the next one, considering I'm the novel stitcher and I stitch and I read, is probably my favorite of the ones I'm working on, even though I really like them all. And this is Puntini Books and Cats. Obsessed with this one. I mean, it's so cute. It says a house is not a home without books and cats, which I agree with. And so would Scout. And so these cats are black. And so I'll show you, but I added a little white. I think it turned out pretty good. I don't entirely know what I'm doing. Again, 6 months into this, 7 months into this, you know, changing a design is a little bit nerve-wracking, but I think I'm figuring it out. But I wanted these cats to, I've only done him so far, but I wanted them to look more like my cat. And this kind of looks like me. Brown hair, so. This one's still in the cute snap. I love this. It's so cute. So that's Scout. She's got some white here. I'll see if I can insert a picture of her, or like in the little beginning thing. I might do the little montage at the beginning of the video. I'll get some pictures of Scout in there. But so I did a little white on the chest and on the foot. So I think that turned out well. This fabric is a 32 count Belfast raw linen from Zweigart. It's the called for. And I actually really like this. I like stitching on it. I like the color. I think it looks really nice with these colors. And this has been fun. And I like my little bookstore needle minder. I think I got this on Etsy, but they also sell it at Fat Quarter Shop. And I like the Q-snap. I think I'm a Q-snap girl. I tried the hoop, and I don't mind the hoop, but I really like the Q-snap. Sorry, I'm shaking the table. I've seen a lot of the Nerge ones. I'm kind of intrigued, but I like it to be pretty tight. So, and I need to get more grime guards to tuck this fabric in. But yeah, I really like that one. That's cute. I'm not terribly fast, so we'll see what progress I can show over the next couple weeks or the next time I film. Still learning, so I'm fairly slow. I also watch Flosstube and TV while I stitch, and I'll do that thing where like you're stitching and then you're like, that's pretty. And then you just stare at the TV and forget you're holding something in your hand. So that slows you down a little bit, but I'm working on it. I also didn't show you guys most of the floss colors. I'm disorganized about my floss. Don't yell at me. Like, I have some on bobbins. I've bobbinated most of my floss. That was before I knew floss drops were a thing. I was very, new to it, and you just see the bobbins in the store and the boxes that you stick them in. It's like, okay, that's what you do. And now I'm seeing floss drops, but I also, for the week's dye work, kept them on the little cards, and it was getting all tangled. So I'm figuring out the best system. Suggestions are more than welcome if there's a kind of way that you do it that keeps things neat and organized and not tangled. Let me know. I've not bobbinated everything because it takes a while. So I think with floss drops, you can just kind of stick it on the drop. So that might be the best option. So I will think about it. This is the two pumpkins colors. These are pretty. And then the next part, I will go through a little bit of stash haul. It can all be hauls since I only got these all like a few months ago, but I should have taken them out of the plastic. I did not. I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna avoid the glare. Yes, we're gonna avoid the glare by doing it like that. Perfect. Okay, so this is the Day by Plum Street. I got this at my local needlework store, which is the Strawberry Sampler in Westchester, PA. Super cute, tiny, but super cute, and the ladies were super friendly. I will say one thing about me is if I'm doing something really new and there's like other people and I don't know what I'm doing, I get a little nervous. And I've never been in a needlework store, and I was like, can you just touch things? You just walk around? Is there a system to it? So I was a little bit nervous, but I was like, I'm just gonna go. It's like not that big of a deal. I'm sure they're pleasant there. And they were great. They just let me wander. They didn't bother me, which I don't like when people constantly ask me stuff when I'm just trying to browse and get my feet under me in a new store or a new location. But when I did have questions, they were happy to answer them, and just really lovely. So if you're in Pennsylvania, the north or southeast area, Strawberry Sampler is a really nice little needlework store. And so I thought this was really pretty. I haven't done a house yet. I know people like or hate houses. I liked the brick, the way they did the brick and the flowers. I don't know if I'm gonna do the quote or not. I like the quote, but I also just like the house. This I thought would be a nice January one. The holidays are over, you're kind of sad. I don't really think I'm gonna wanna be stitching anything wintry because I don't love the winter. I don't like the cold. I like the fall and the summer. Christmas is great, but then right after Christmas is probably my least favorite time of year. So I thought this one would bring me some cheer after the holidays. And I have some of the DMC so far. And I'll have to figure out what I want to do for the fabric. So that's one I'm excited to work on. And then I have a couple little Christmassy ones. Well, 3. I love Christmas. So this one's super cute. Country Cottage, right? Yeah, their stuff is so cute. They're so tiny. I love it. So this is Silent Night. I love the Christmas songs. I really love the little church and just the way they did this one. Super sweet. I have some blue fabric. It's back there. I'll show it next time or in a couple weeks whenever I start this. It's just a blue linen that I got. I think I got that from Fat Quarter Shop, but I'll show that off when I start this one. But that's super sweet. And I think people with those tend to like do a few in a row. I have another one, so I'll show that and then. So I have this one too. So I don't know if I'm gonna do these together or separate. I'll have to think about it. I'll show that one again. That's got the little deer. It didn't come with the little snowflake, but I can probably go to like Joann's or Michael's and get a little snowflake button because I think that's pretty cute. Or I could just stitch a snowflake there. Hopefully you can see it. I'm just using my phone, so sorry if it's not fantastic quality. And sorry I keep bumping the table. But there's that one. That's cute too. And then this is like another I think Annie, the proper stitcher, said this, that sometimes you see a pattern and you just love it. And maybe you know why, maybe you don't know why, but there's just something about the pattern that immediately grabs you. And I saw this one a couple times and finally I was like, just buy it. You don't have to, it's not that expensive and you don't have to stitch it now. But it's this one. So I can be a little picky, I guess, about people. And so some of the Santas, like the Prairie Schooler are so cute, but the Santas are just not like my style of Santa. I love watching other people stitch them, but I like him. I think he's super cute. This is Cottage Garden samplers. And I just think he's so cute. I love the cardinal, him pulling the sleigh with all the gifts and the toys. I just saw this and was like, yep, I want that one. I want to stitch that. I don't have fabric for it yet. What do you guys think of this fabric? And I say you guys because I'm from New Jersey. It's just what we say, whether you're women, men, or non-binary. That's just what we say. So let me know what you think of that fabric. It is an alchemy linen by Picture This Plus. It doesn't say what count. Well, it gives design. You can do up to 40. I've only done 32. That's the smallest count I've done. But yeah, I don't know if I wonder if just a plain gray would look too bland though in the background. This is a little dark to me, but I guess it could be like a dark, cloudy, snowy winter day is kind of the vibe. So maybe that would be good to get. So we'll see, think about that. And then I have one more. This one was also from Sea Needles, that needlework store in Bethany Beach. It's super cute if you go to the Delaware shore. I think they mostly had older patterns. I didn't see some of the newer things. Like they had some of the newer designers, but older patterns. I don't know if that makes sense, but it seemed like they didn't have a ton of like really, really new stuff. Mostly older things. So I got this from the Cricket collection. And I don't know like how easy this pattern is to find. I don't know if they have more rare ones there. They just did seem to have an older selection. I like sunflowers. I thought this was really cute. It is Sunflower September. Fat Quarter Shop is doing that. I don't know if I'm gonna do this month. You saw my other whips. I do want to try to like finish a whip before I start something new. Maybe we'll see. but try not to go too crazy because I'm just learning and I'm slow, and so we'll see. But I like this one, or well, I like it without the quote. I just like the heart and the little crows. Sunflowers are my favorite flower. So if I don't work on that this fall, it'll be like a next summer or next fall for sure. And so that's everything I have for cross stitch. I will have some hopefully decent haul the next time I film, probably in 2 weeks, because next Sunday is my birthday. And for my birthday, I'm having my boyfriend take me to, there's actually a lot of needlework stores around here. It's nice. So he's gonna take me to Hodgepodge. That's out in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. It's about an hour from here. And my birthday present is just I get to buy a few things from the shop. And then we'll go out to lunch and just hang out out there. So I'm really excited for that. He's been pretty supportive of this. He thinks the cross stitch is cool. He's encouraged me to do Flosstube. So thank you, Alex. Love you. So that'll be fun next weekend. I like my birthday. I'm one of those people. Birthdays are fun. So books. I'm gonna get into books. So if you don't read or you're too busy stitching and you don't have time to read, that's fine. You can move on to the next Flosstube episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you will like and subscribe. I hope you will give me some recommendations on things I can improve in this video, and on stitching recommendations since I'm so new. If there's anything you're seeing where, you know, you can give me some advice, that would be great. So thank you for watching. And now it's book talk time. So I'm gonna talk about what I'm reading right now. And sometimes I'll probably talk about what I'm currently reading, and sometimes I'll probably give recommendations of books I've read, you know, in the past, because I'm also stitching, I'm also working, I'm also hanging out with my boyfriend, so I'm not reading as much as I used to, and I think that's okay. You know, we all have different times in our lives where we do different hobbies or other things take priority, and so this is one of my slower reading years, and that's okay. So I'm gonna first actually recommend a book I just finished. So I just finished this a week ago. So this is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. And if you are in the bookish community at all, you follow Bookstagram, you probably have possibly seen this one, but maybe not. I loved this book. And this was one of the kind of books that, maybe I should just hold it while I talk. I'm learning. This was one of the books that got a lot of hype. So I was like, do I want to read it? Like, is it going to be overhyped? Am I really going to enjoy it? Or is it going to be one of those books that everyone talks about, but is only okay? And I read this at the beach and I couldn't stop reading it and I loved it. So the premise is that there's a woman named Elizabeth Zott. It's set in America in, I think, around the mid-1960s, and she wants to be a chemist, or she's pursuing a career as a chemist. And I think a lot of us know back in that era, a woman trying to pursue a career, especially in the sciences, can come up against a lot of roadblocks. And so she's really struggling to get respect, to get attention, to have her work be recognized for what it is. People come to her for advice and to help her, to get her help with their papers, but they never really appreciate how smart she is. And so she meets another scientist, and he actually does appreciate her mind and appreciate her for who she is, because she's kind of a quirky character. She's very smart, very science-oriented, very much thinks of things through that analytical kind of lens. And so they fall in love, some things happen. I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but she gets pregnant and has a daughter. And she's still struggling though. She's still not getting respect in her work. And so she builds a lab in her kitchen, and then, you know, she quits her job and builds a lab in the kitchen, and kind of starts trying to do her own work out of there. And some of the people from the company she works for still stop by to get her help with problems and help on their scientific papers and stuff. So she charges them, as she should. And then her daughter goes off to school, and another child keeps eating her daughter's lunch. And it's because she's a fabulous cook, because she uses chemistry and science to cook the food so that it tastes good and it's healthy and it's different than what the other girl was bringing in, because her father's a single father and just doesn't know what to do for lunch. So she was bringing in weird lunches, and she stole Elizabeth's daughter's lunch. So Elizabeth goes to yell at this man, be like, stop, tell your daughter to stop eating my daughter's lunch. She needs her nutrition. And he works for a TV station and finds her enchanting, mostly because she's pretty. And he wants her to do a cooking show. And so he hires her to do a cooking show. And of course, she listens to none of his advice for the cooking show. And she does not wear a pretty little apron and look sweet and smile for the camera. She sticks a pencil in her hair and she teaches the women who are watching the show how to cook using science. And it becomes a sensation. And lots of people are upset about it because she's trying to empower women and teach women and have them use science and, you know, smarts in the cooking that they're doing because, you know, maybe they can't get a job and be in the workforce, but that doesn't mean they're not smart and they can't, you know, use their brain in other ways, even at home. And, you know, it kind of goes from there. I don't want to go into too much detail after that, but I would say if she wasn't so well written, maybe the book wouldn't be as interesting, but she is such a well-written character, and her daughter's a lot like her. And so really precocious, really smart, and so she's fabulously written too, but I really, really enjoyed this book. So if you like that kind of thing, if you like fiction, not a light read. I mean, her life is difficult, and it's difficult being a woman in the sciences, and just a trigger warning for some sexual assault that happens in the book that's a little bit disturbing. Only one scene, but so just keep that in mind. Not super light, but yet it is funny. It's very smartly written. So I really liked that one. Probably one of my favorites of the year so far. I've read about 25 books, so it's one of my favorites. And then it's been a while since I picked this one up, so I'm a little bit fuzzy on the plot, but I really like Anthony Marra. So this is Mercury Pictures Presents, and he wrote, I forget the title. He wrote another book about the Chernobyl incident, fiction. This is fiction. That one was fiction, both fiction. That was beautiful. His writing's really beautiful. It's very intricate. This is not an easy read. It's not a light read. It's very much literary fiction the way it's written. This is a signed copy. I saw him speak at a book festival. He's extremely smart and very talented. And so this is set around the dawn of World War II. It's set in America in Los Angeles around filmmaking. And so it's a young woman who is working in films. She's not an actress. She's working in a different, like a director, producer kind of capacity, or wanting to. And it's a little bit, I'm very early into it, and not much has happened so far. So it's not a slog, but it would be a slower read. I think Lessons in Chemistry was slightly faster, but I did tend to read maybe slightly slower burns when it comes to books. But his writing is beautiful, intricate, really makes you think. And I think written by a man, but another book about a woman maybe wanting to kind of do what was not normally done for the time that she was living in the 1940s, wanting to make her way in the pictures. And we know during World War II that a lot of film production and a lot of things were shut down. Men went off to war, and, you know, a lot of the efforts were put into supporting the war. And so I'll be interested to see kind of where this story goes. But it's really well written so far. So if you like that kind of thing, I guess there's his other book, A Constellation of Vital Phenomenon. It's beautiful. That's a beautiful book too. But yeah, a little bit more literary fiction. I guess it is historical fiction. I mean, it's historical fiction. It's set in the past, in the 1940s. So I really like historical fiction, but I think it's like a mix of historical fiction and literary fiction. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I would kind of categorize it. So this one's really good too. So thank you so much if you have stuck with me to the bitter end. I hope I didn't say too many silly things. I hope you enjoyed my stitching and seeing what I'm reading. I will say for books, I read historical fiction, fantasy, literary fiction, romance. So really a mix. I think these two are both more literary fiction, but that's not the only thing I read. I read a lot of different kinds of books. I try to read diversely too. These are both white authors, but I try to read Black authors, Indigenous authors, Latinx authors, authors from the LGBTQ community, just a mix, because I want to be reading from different perspectives, different experiences. I read for enjoyment, I read for fun, and I read to learn. And I read to be more compassionate and more understanding of the different things that people go through. And so mostly I read novels, I'm a novel stitcher, but I do read nonfiction too. So I'll definitely be sharing some recommendations, across the breadth of the kind of things I read and the things I stitch. So I hope you all enjoyed watching. Please subscribe and like, and I hope you have a great day and keep on stitching and keep on reading. Thanks.